Okay, guys. This is what the van's looking like still today. We've just been really busy and haven't been able to get to it. And it's been really wet here. Nobody wants to work on an old van when it's raining unless they have no choice. That little thing we put over the vent is holding up really well. Might just keep it. But yeah, it's still a big mess in here, you guys. So we're going to be talking about this thing today. Our big messy van. Okay, so at least this tape held up during the last couple of storms. I figured that it would just totally rip off and the window would fall out or something. But it didn't. It's still not my choice, and if past experience serves, this might damage the paint, but we'll see. It was all he could come up with at the time, so yeah, just a little bit more work, but not too much. It's got the original gas cap. It's too cute. I don't know how secure that is, but it's really cool. And you could tell, like, whoever owned it before us didn't really use it much because the paint's totally different color. But it is the original gas cap. It looks like it's brand new. Very awesome. Okay, so you guys probably have been watching the news, so you know that there's been a lot of rainstorms and stuff here where we live in California, and a lot of you guys are probably still buried in snow in a lot of places, including up the mountain from where we live. But yeah, so we haven't really been messing with the van too much, and Ron has a lot of projects and things that he does, and there's not much been going on with this thing. Also, I have other things that I've been doing, so we've just been kind of putting it off. And last time I did a video about the van, I let you guys know just how smelly it is in here. And I'm still thinking that it's some type of glue or something that they used back in the day that's kind of off-gassing or something, but it really smells terrible. It's not quite as bad as it has been today, but it's still pretty stinky. I can smell it in there. But I think what I'm going to have to do is just totally take out all the walls and stuff in here, which kind of sucks because it's going to be a lot of work, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen like vans and cars and stuff in worse shape than this thing, and so they had to do a total restoration job, so at least this one, it's not gonna be that bad. Okay, you guys, so I'm kind of back behind the house where it's a little bit quieter. The van's over by the garage, and Ron's using his air compressor and things like that, and it's pretty noisy, so I can't really talk about the van over there because you guys won't be able to hear me. Probably saw that in the last clip. At the very end there was the air compressor. Had to turn it off and come over here, which is where I was going to come anyway, because I got to figure out what we're going to do with this stinking garden. It was actually probably a very beautiful garden at one time, because the people worked really hard to make terraces and put dirt in here and stuff, because our ground is mostly clay, so they probably had to bring in a lot of soil to make it work. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about van stuff today because, well, apparently, according to everything I could tell on my channel, I'm still basically categorized as a van life channel, which is okay, because I am a van person and I love vans, and if I had my way, I would probably be in a van all the time. That's just kind of the way I am. Like I said in the last video that when I talked about vans, I really love them, and they're one of my favorite things. If they were an animal, I would say they were my favorite animal. But anyway, yeah, so we want to work on that van, and Ron thinks it'll go, and all that good stuff. And yeah, it's just a matter of getting around to it. I kind of want to like reinforce and paint the fiberglass top on there. I don't know if I can find any gel coat that we could afford, but I could probably paint it with some sort of RV paint. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, so if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments. I'd like to see what you guys would think about repainting the top of the van. I think it'd probably be a good idea because I don't want the fiberglass to eventually get all raggedy like I've seen on several RVs in my life. And vans as well. I've actually seen where like the fiberglass was starting to get worn because the gel coat had come off and nobody had addressed it. They didn't even put any paint or anything on it, and it just got so weathered that you could actually see the fibers coming out. So I don't want that to happen to that van. So if you guys have any ideas on something affordable that we could do that would, prevent that from happening, let me know. But from what I could tell, if I can find some gel coat, I could do a light sand on it and then put some gel coat back over it. It would probably be just fine, especially if I could find some white gel coat. I don't know. Uh, but anyway, or clear even. If not, then like I said, some probably a elastomeric type of paint. I don't know if that would go over fiberglass. Anybody that has any knowledge of that, just let me know. But I'm thinking it would probably be okay, and it would probably be better than letting it sit and just like rot like that. So there's that. There's also, I have to take out the paneling, like I said, and then get down into where the insulation is and see what's going on in there, even if to see if it even has insulation. Oh, this is stuff I don't want to do, guys, because that kind of stuff, I've done so much of it in my life. I know what's coming, and it's just so gross. I'm probably gonna have to wear a respirator because that's how bad it is. Ron and I have opened that van before on certain days, like a day kind of like today, and the smell would just hit you in the face. I don't even know how to describe it. It's not a rotten smell. It's more like a chemical smell, like glue or something like that. So we have to figure out what to do with that. And again, if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Let me know what to do about that, because this is like new territory for me when it comes to stuff. Because usually when I've redone RVs and vans like that, they didn't stink like that. They didn't have that smell. It was just like an old musty smell or whatever. And then as soon as we gutted out most of it and got it down to where that van is, they were just fine, and there wasn't any of that like chemical smell. So I don't know what's going on in there. I don't know if somebody spilled something in there, or if it's the type of insulation or glue that they used. I have no idea, but it's really, really bad. So yeah, if you guys have any ideas, just let me know. I'd be glad to take them, even though I've done these kinds of things like my whole life. This is kind of new to me, like this lingering smell that's really kind of gross. So yeah, and I kind of don't want to have to strip every single thing out of the van, because there are some things that I feel like are salvageable. But if I keep smelling that smell, I'm not so sure if I'll be able to keep anything that's in it. I'm going to have to strip it down to the bare metal, and I don't want to do that. So just let me know if you guys have any ideas. Well, I guess he got it going. That's what all the noise was all about. Yeah, he's been working on that thing for a while. But show you guys what I'm dealing with here. I've got all these rusty screw things I gotta take off. And there is some really ratty, yucky insulation hanging out the bottom here of this wall. You could actually see it. It's pretty gross. Yeah, the warmer the van gets on the inside, the stinkier it gets. So I guess I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and maybe wear a respirator and get in here and fix it up. And you can see where the old carpet was still. So yeah, there's just gonna be a lot of work. And I don't know what this is on the side of the door here. Looks pretty gross. It might be mold, I don't know. But yeah, that's just pretty yucky. But I guess it goes along with restoring a van. Okay, so here's a big problem with this thing. It looks like, because see, we didn't want to have to take this bunk out, because this up here is the top bunk. We didn't want to have to take this out just to get to the paneling that's messed up. But it looks like we're going to have to take everything out of here just to get this paneling off, because we don't want to just break it off. I mean, that's stupid. I've seen where people have done stuff like that. We don't want to just break it off and then, like, you know, cheesy over it. So we're gonna have to take that and all the curtain things, and those are still good. We want to keep those, so I want to try to keep those intact. The curtains thingies for the windows, because they're pretty nice, and it's pretty rare that you get one for the barn doors right here. That's actually pretty neat, so I kind of want to keep that. So yeah, we're just gonna have to meticulously come in here and just take everything apart. I'm gonna have to get a special bucket just for all the screws and everything. A lot of them, though, like I was showing you earlier, a lot of them are just rusty like that, so we'll probably have to throw them out. You could get these kind of screws still. And I don't know what they're called, but yeah, I think they're called lath screws, and I really like them. I used them in my van that I built not too long ago, a few years back, and they work pretty great. It's just a shame, though, that like all this water got in here. You know, anybody that's building a van, please consider just using a cargo van, and don't put any extra windows that you don't have to in it, because that's just where the water is going to come in. You know, everybody thinks that all these people live in their vans and they're being all creepy and they're trying to hide. It's like, no, they don't want water coming in. You know, so they learn the hard way, and then the next van they get, they make sure there's no windows, unless they don't have a choice. So yeah, yeah, look at like that strip of carpet up there. All that's got to come out. Yeah, just everything. It's just, oh my gosh, I'm just overwhelmed, you guys. I really am. I have never had to take this much stuff out when I've restored RVs. You know, yeah. And the only reason why we're taking it out, because first of all, it's water damage, so there's probably mold under there. And secondly, that smell. It's just ridiculous. So there's no nice thing, no nice way to do it. I think we're just gonna have to trash it. Okay, so we're inside of Ron's Ford van here. Because I want to show you guys what I'm trying to do in here. It's kind of a mess in here too, because we've been using this van for a truck, and also it's going to be getting the seats worked on. I think I mentioned that in one of the videos previously, but yeah, it's got these old seats that really need to be reupholstered and repadded, really. So a friend of ours is going to help us with that as soon as he gets better. But I wanted to show you guys what I had in mind for this area here. As you can see, this is where I cook. I like to put my stoves right here, and it's working okay, but as you can see, it's starting to get pretty dingy already. And we just put this in a little over a year ago, I think. So this quote-unquote countertop isn't very old, and it was just pretty much a temporary thing until I figured out what I really wanted to do. So I'm not exactly sure if what I'm thinking is going to work. But what I had in mind was putting some of these fake stick-on tiles like I have down here. If you can see it under here. Like I have right down there, to kind of make it match, and also just for something that is easier to clean for right now. I didn't really want to do that because I didn't really like the idea of having these things that could be flammable on there. So I'm going to have to be very careful and put like some stuff underneath the stove, or stoves, depending on, you know, because I use a single burner stove and sometimes I use two. So I'm going to have to think of something like a cutting board or something to put under them, or a trivet, especially when I set pots down, because this stuff will probably melt. So I just have to be careful. But the main reason why I'm thinking of doing it is so that I can clean it. And I'm kind of broke. I wanted to basically put some really cool fabric or some sort of decoration underneath here and then epoxy it. And I have all the stuff to decorate it with, but I do not have the money for the epoxy, and it's not cheap anymore. It used to be really cheap. But yeah, I just wanted to get in here and show you guys what I was thinking, because I think at least, you know, cleanliness wise, it'll be a lot better. And everything in our life is pretty much in flux all the time, and it's temporary. Just like, you know, everything else. And who knows if we can get the other van the way we want it so that we could take it out on the road, then this one might end up just being a truck like it's being right now. Like, I'll turn the camera around and I'll let you guys look at this mess we have in here. As you can see, the van is a truck right now. Some of this stuff in here is our camping gear kind of mixed in, but we have, like, you know, propane bottles and gas cans and all this junk in here. And it's kind of hard, you know, in the wintertime to use your pickup truck unless you're just going to the dump or getting wood. And the van is covered. So if it rains or something, you know, it's just better to use a van in the wintertime for a truck. So that's what happens to this guy. And I take the bed out and fold up the bed platform so that, you know, there's room back here. And it works good, except for one thing. I kind of don't like doing that to my campers. I want them to just be ready to go in a moment's notice, because, yeah, we just have just reasons for that, you know. You know, we have wildfires year round in California now, and so I really stress out when my camper is like it is right now. So that's probably another good reason to keep the 77 and keep working on it, because we need to just have a dedicated camper van, I think. Because we end up using this van and we end up using my Sequoia for trucks, basically, a lot of times. And there was a few weeks ago, or actually a couple months ago, when the Sequoia actually was acting up and we didn't know what the heck was going on with it. And so Ron had to do some work to it. And in the meantime, this van was our main driver. And so stuff like that happens, and I just get nervous. I really get like extremely nervous about that. So I'm hoping that something someday could just be a dedicated camper, and in case something happens, and we just drive out of here and at least have some place to sleep. And we don't have to completely start all over. And so that's where I'm at with that, because, yeah, you guys all have seen the news and you know what goes on here in California and in other places. And I just don't like the idea of not having a little home on wheels, even though we live at a house, if that makes any sense. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to show you what was going on with the vans and give you a little bit of an update. And hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got something out of it. And yeah, if you like what you saw, let me know in the comments. And yeah, give me some critique and show me what I can do better. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.